Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
As usual, the Israeli constant unethical military actions involve targeting military as well as civil targets, not to mention assassinations and extended targeting, including civilian infrastructure, which is the case in the Sana'a airport and Hodeidah port. This is the case. The current events keep proving to everyone, either in Gaza, Lebanon, or Yemen, or you name it. Besides, Israel said that it had deliberations with the United States before proceeding with today's attack, unlike attacks against Yemen. This is the fourth direct Israeli attack in a year and several months. The U.S. used to deny any prior information about the attacks in earlier cases, but again, we should take this with a grain of salt. I mean, with a bunch of salt. Considering the fact that there exists the Combined Task Force 153 or CTF 153, which is the Red Sea Maritime Security Force led by the U.S. Navy, and it was established in April 2022. So how would squadrons, I mean Israeli squadrons, pass over or operate within the mandate area of that well-equipped CTF 153 force without prior coordination with the United States? So there is deliberations prior to any such attacks. But here, when it comes to the infrastructure and targeting them, we should emphasize the fact that almost all forms of suffering that you can imagine. Children are dying on the hour. Mother mortality rates are alarming. Every food-related disease is widespread in Yemen, including malnutrition and other diseases. So this is going only to affect or cause more dire impacts to the helpless people of Yemen.
Now, Dr. What is the message Israel wants to send here by escalating the airstrikes in Yemen amid such regional tensions?
Well, there are several messages are involved here. Some are delivered clear and loud, and others are implicit. For the implicit ones, they want to direct the attention away from the genocide being perpetrated in Gaza. They want also to divert the attention away from the Israeli violations of any deal or agreement as reached. Lebanon almost violated that deal with Lebanon like 800 times, according to international reports, within a few days. So, but the message delivered clear and loud are delivered by the Israeli Minister of Defense, because he declared like one day ago that there will be attacks against the Houthi. But what is new to this Israeli attack is the number of the Israeli fighters involved. So far, we know they are in the tens, maybe 100 Israeli fighters were involved, airjet fighters. A few days ago, the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu himself, said that Israel will deal with the Houthis in the same manner it has dealt with other Iranian proxies in the region, such as Hezbollah in Lebanon. Mm-hmm. So Israel is rather sending stronger messages to the key mainstay of the Houthis and non-state actors in the region. I mean Iran, of course. The message is, if Iran wants to remain the Islamic Republic of Iran with all its suspicious programs deferred to a later state, it must limit its activities and ambitions to its own borders, to the Iranian border. The message, again, is Iran must not pressurize the U.S. through Israel.
We were just speaking about the WHO chief who was in Yemen, so we're speaking about a very dire humanitarian situation here. What might the destruction of Sana'a airport's runway reflect on Yemen's humanitarian crisis and with the regional instability at large?
Well, again, the dire humanitarian situation in Yemen is unspeakable. No words can express the suffering taking place in Yemen. Several children die every hour. Again, mother mortality rates are very alarming. Food-related diseases such as malnutrition, diseases are now almost widespread nationwide in Yemen. And there are also heavy shortages of medicine and basic daily needs. These are recorded. I mean, these are incidents and statistics being recorded on a national scale. So targeting the Sana'a airport runway and the Hodeidah port, which are controlled by the Houthi group in Yemen, would only further the human casualties and material losses. As you must know, the only ways to get to Yemen is either through that airport or that seaport, the Hodeidah seaport. Israel has already delivered deadly strikes to the Hodeidah seaport, a few weeks ago, as if they are trying to cripple the Houthis, but actually the Houthis are still a group. The main people feeling that damage and taking that damage to its fullest are the Yemeni people.
Dr. Raslan, let me here take you to the front, which is the world's response at large. So we've seen so far some of the statements from big powers reflecting the unequivocal support for Israel. Now, from your point of view, how do you evaluate the international response so far, or their lack of response towards the Israeli strikes and actions, the actions and the strikes on Yemen at this timing?
Ma'am, we have been witnessing a genocide being perpetrated by the Israelis in Gaza, and they extended their violation of law and other state sovereignty across the region. And what did the international community do? What did the free world do? Almost nothing. We keep hearing statements of condemnation, but what is the outcome? Are there anything on the ground? Unfortunately, no. People still die because of U.S.-made weapons and as used by the Israelis. So I believe that we should not be depending that much on an international strict stance. I would say no. That wouldn't be coming anytime soon. And
are we speaking here about deliberate silence?
Well, I wouldn't say deliberate silence because everyone, behind closed doors, you can imagine that everyone still in Israel, yeah, please, just clean that mess soon enough, if you can. But this is what is being said because the people, people worldwide, populations worldwide, including politicians and decisions, are getting accustomed to what is there, international satellite news channels throughout the day, and no one is taking action. People keep dying, and people on the other front keep remaining silent.